What ignited my passion for photography, if I'm being quite honest, is the opportunity to create. I remember I got into photography by using my mobile phone, and a device such as a mobile phone, you'd sometimes take it for granted that it had a camera on it. But I remember one time taking an image in my local area, and a few weeks back looking through that image and getting something from that image. And for me, I knew that was the start of something for me, and it's all snowballed since then. The reason I choose photography is I like being able to move, freedom. Photography gives me the ability to move around and travel and to be able to not be so static, go wherever I want, take my camera with me, be alone if I want, and just capture whatever it is I want to capture and share it amongst who I want to share it with. The most interesting part of photography to me is definitely the process itself. I'd say the going out there and the shooting is definitely, for me, my favorite part of photography. Reason why is because I find maybe going out and doing, if it's street photography, I find it quite therapeutic, being able to just being in my zone, feeling like I'm in my element, and during that time I feel like, I'm never distracted, I'm just always focused on what I want to do, and like I said, I find it quite therapeutic. For me, being involved in the photographic community it's been great, being able to not just have people view my own work, but being able to view other people's work, people within London, whether it's, people that I'm looking at that are just, neighbours of mine, or people from all over the world, being able to see people's perspective on life. I feel that's quite important, and I know why I do photography. I like to show people what I document and what I see, and being able to look at other people's work just allows me to see what they see and what they're trying to document and what it is that they're trying to capture. That's one of the things I really love about this. What's it all leading to? The norm, a book really. I've always wanted to release a book from the beginning of me starting my photography. I remember I did a project called 365 Photography, and I documented every single day for a year, and the aim was to compile those images into a book. Now the funny thing is I never got around to doing that because I was so involved in the photography itself, and now that I'm at the stage that I feel like I definitely have a lot of good images to put within that book. That's something I want to do. The main reason there would be an opportunity to share that amongst my followers and my people, and the people that I kind of network with. I kind of explained before that I feel like I'm able to get a great source of inspiration from people all over the world who document their work, and for me to put a book out there will be my opportunity to show people exactly what I'm trying to document, and maybe compile a group of images that maybe show exactly what I feel and what I see. I could have done basketball. I chose not to. I'm doing photography. Why? The reason I'm doing photography is because, again, if I go back to talking about creating something, I feel like I found a bit more value. The whole creating concept meant a lot more to me. Being able to create an image, and for me, being able to reflect and look back at that image, I definitely got something from that. I felt like I wanted to go out there and create more and more and more. And there's something crazy about that, because I'm a very driven person, and I need something in the morning that makes me tick. And I think with photography, the opportunity to just create more and more, and it's very endless, whether I want to create and show people what I see here in the UK, or create and show people things that I see all over the world. There's something that was a bit more exciting, something about that was a bit more exciting for me, that really pushed me. And it's definitely something that I'm going to continue to pursue. Who motivates me? When I think about that, there's a few things that come to mind, but the first thing that came to my mind was possibly the athlete, Jesse Owens. I remember quite young, the first thing, I remember I spoke about my addictive personality and how I'm quite driven as a person, and when I was younger, the first thing that started to drive me and make me tick was athletics, and Jesse Owens was one of the athletes that I turned to kind of as a source for inspiration. And I loved the way, he was, a very strong person, and was able to deal with what wasn't easy during a very difficult time for black people. And for me, just being able to see what he did and the way he came and rose above everything, definitely, I think he does play quite a very important role in my mind whenever I do hit those low points, bounce back up straight because of remembering what he did back in those days. And also my mum, my mum's definitely a great source of inspiration because she had to bring up a lot of people in the family. She's the eldest person from her side of the family, and just speaking to her on a daily basis and just remembering my childhood and the way she raised us, there's always a motivation for me to keep doing what I do and to keep moving forward. So the way I came around owning a camera firsthand was I'd have to give thanks to my uncle. Now my uncle was my mum's youngest sibling, or second youngest, and he had been very, very supportive throughout all of my life, whether it's if I wanted to do athletics, he'd help me to pursue athletics and drive me to my events and stuff like that. And it came a point where I wasn't doing athletics, I wasn't doing basketball, and he spoke to me and asked me what it was I wanted. And I told him I wanted a camera, and he instantly bought me a camera. And since that day, I really appreciated him buying me that camera, because when I saw the amount it cost, I was like, wow, Uncle, are you really doing this? But he did, and I guess that's the love he has for me and my brothers and sisters. And since that day, I knew I had to take this seriously so that I wouldn't let him down and show him what I was capable of. So once I rejuvenated a camera that my uncle gave me, I continued shooting with that for a couple of months, and somehow, I think maybe because I was working and I got my first job, got my first paycheck, I decided to buy a mobile phone, and I wanted to get the most up-to-date mobile phone, which was an iPhone. Once I got myself an iPhone, I realized how easy it was to shoot with the iPhone, and how easy it was to access, pull out of my pocket, get my shots, without having to carry around the big tool, which was a DSLR. And using my phone for photography then unlocks a few more things to me. It showed me another world, which was Instagram. And through using Instagram, I realized ways in which I could share my images with other people, but also view what other people were doing. And for me, that was very important, to be able to see what people were doing. Because eventually I'd use a phone for so long that I then decided to put some confidence back into shooting with the SLR, sold my uncle's camera, and then I decided to buy my own camera, which was a huge upgrade for me. And it's my current camera that I'm using now.
Escape.